What's up everyone, I'm Aaron the Toy Enhancer and welcome to the channel. Today we're going to take a look at my number one top figure of all times. I carried this guy around in my pocket so many times when I was a little kid growing up, going to school, brought him to show and tell, took him on doctor's appointments, field trips, playground, you name it. My Duke went everywhere with me. And to have it finally on this retro card is just awesome. I cannot express it enough. Let's take a look at Duke. A little close up here of the packaging and what he all comes with. Now, there's actually a funny story behind this Duke, you might say. I was on Facebook, a little over a year ago, and I was mentioning how cool it would be to have a more realistic looking Duke, more vintage style, compared to what we have. This may have been a year and a half ago or so. And those people on Facebook, which we all know Facebook can get very toxic at times, um, they literally like tore me apart on Facebook saying I was ridiculous for even asking that or even wanting that the Duke that we had in the first classified, runs was good enough and is basically vintage, blah blah blah, and basically tore me apart on Facebook, which it's like I said, we all know Facebook can get toxic. But yeah, so I said all that, and then here we are, a year and a half later, here's the vintage Duke right in front of me. So it must not have been too crazy of an idea, or at least something to talk about. And I want to let you guys know something else. The only Duke that I've opened up in the classified series run is Tiger Force Duke. I have the other Dukes, but I never open them up. Why? Because it's just not my Duke. Um, there's no way that those Dukes compare to the way this one is. And I'm so glad that they decided to do the retro card, because that gave me my opportunity to have a Duke in the classified series that was worthy enough of me having him with the other troops. So that's the reason why I never did open the older ones up. I probably never will. They'll probably stay sealed in their boxes now that I have this one. But all right, guys, let's get down to it. Let's open this bad boy up and stick around for the vintage comparison at the end. All right, everyone. So here's our Duke right out of the package. Let's take a close up look. Now, on a review that I watched, Bees Battlegrounds, I the face looked a little awkward to me, but honestly, now that I have it in hand and I'm looking at it on camera while I have it in hand, and then I'm looking at it in real life, it seems that it is a good face sculpt. Now that I'm taking a really, really good look at it, and I'm quite happy with it. But for some reason, when I seen a couple other reviews, I wasn't too sure about the face sculpt. But again, now that I have it, and I don't know if it's because we look at it from different angles, but it looks good. I like it way better than the original one they did in the classified line, and it just looks really good. We'll take a look at his belt he has around him, bandolier, and he's got the American flag. Very awesome. One thing that we pointed out when I was live, when we first were talking about the renders on a Punk with Toys show, we noticed that he had, or I brought it up, that he had fat wrists. And They look a little fat now that we're looking at them, but I understand why they did it. They his hands are upsized a little bit too, and let me bring out a figure to kind of show you what I'm talking about. Here's Chuckles, and here's an example of a figure that doesn't have a watch or a glove. You know, same as Duke. It just goes clean skin from the wrist to the hand, and you can see how Chuckles' wrist is a little bit skinnier, but his hand's also a little bit smaller too. If you can see when we kind of compare them together, you can see how much smaller Chuckles' wrist is. Now, with that being said, let's take his gun out of the hand so you can get a better look. I think if they were to do a skinnier wrist like this on Duke, that it might not have looked right. He might not have looked as muscular, and it might have had a funny look. So I see why now they have the wider wrist on him, just to give him because he has a more broader look, and just to give him a more dominant look. And it does seems like his hands are just slightly. It maybe just be me, but it seems a little bit bigger. But anyways, that was something that I noticed. And again, we don't have too many figures that go from clean wrist to hand. There's normally a glove or a watch or just something, that to break up that between the wrist and the hand. But man, he looks good. I like him. A very clean looking Duke that I've been waiting ever since the line, ever since I got into the line. I've been dreaming of a Duke like this. And the only reason is because I love my vintage ones so much. Let's take a look at his accessories that he comes with. He comes with this backpack, has canteens on it and shovel. We're familiar with seeing this with the other Dukes. And then he has this very, very small knife. See if we can get anything to focus here for us. Very tiny knife. Sorry guys, yeah, I got working hands. I've done construction all my life. Yeah, this is cool because, and you'll see on the vintage comparison, I've always, always, always wanted this knife to come out of his boot. And you'll see on the vintage one, man, man, could I have used that when I was a kid and enjoyed it so much. We always had to pretend that he was pulling his knife out of his boot, to get out of some kind of jam or whatever, cut some ropes. He may have been tied up, in our playtime. He does come with a pair of fists, punching fist. Pretty cool. We're gonna have to put him in a boxing ring with Big Bo or something sometime. And there's two fists, and he comes with his helmet. Very awesome looking helmet, and it has a visor on it. So I thought that was pretty cool because the my vintage did not have a visor. Very cool. This is cool because you can do a lot of customs with this type of helmet. It comes with this pistol, little sidearm, I hope that's the one he came with. I have two laying here now. I just pulled one out of Chuckle's hand. Oh boy. I'll double check, make sure I have the right one. Slides in his holster on his leg. Very nice. Then he comes with these binoculars, which are very, very similar to the vintage. Nice. And then he has two guns. This is the like the original that he came with. Very vintage looking gun. I think this one Stalker came with, and it's got that rail butt. Pretty nice. And then he has this other elongated classic laser rifle style that we're used to seeing in the cartoon. Very nice to have one of these. They did a two-tone. It does have a effect port, blast effect. Very cool. Man, he came with a lot of stuff. Real awesome. Let's take a look at the vintage one I have. We'll do a little comparison. So this is my vintage Duke, and he has a brown helmet on. I'm pretty sure he came with a green one, but for some reason mine has a brown one. You can see there's that classic gun that he had. Right? Nice. We'll take his helmet off for a minute. Bring him up here. Very, very cool. Yeah, it's a good looking face sculpt. I really like it. Let's take a look at that knife on his leg. That's the one I was talking about that I always wish came out of his boot when I was a kid. And now we have one that comes out of his boot. Real cool. I'm so stoked to have this finally. And yeah, it's going to be my go-to Duke. You won't see any other Duke around now that I have this one. Awesome. I'm just super stoked. So tell me what you think, guys. What's your favorite Duke in the line? Have you gotten this one yet? What do you think about the face sculpt? Do you think the head sculpt is good? Um, are you satisfied with the retro line so far? Leave some comments. And if you haven't given a like or subscribe, please do so and follow me for more classified reviews. I'll catch you on the next time, guys.